Hello all, let's see the transitional epithelium. This transitional epithelium, it is also called as urothelium, as this type of the epithelium, it is present in the most of the part of the urinary system like minor calyces, major calyces, ureter, bladder, as well as the upper part of the urethra. So that's why this epithelium, it is concerned with the urinary system, and that's why it is also called as urothelium. This transitional type of the epithelium is a stratified type of the epithelium, as this type of epithelium having multiple layers. So if we draw the transitional epithelium, it should be placed on the basement membrane, and the basal layers, it is a rounded shape basal layers are there, and above it there are few layers of the columnar cells which are present, and the superficial most layer is the most identifying, and it is a dome shaped cell layer, which is a characteristic type of the cells present in the urothelium. And this type of the cells, they are called as dome cells, or they are umbrella cells. This umbrella or the dome shaped cells having a special reserve for the cell membrane at the time of the expansion of the wall of the organ due to distension of the urine. So this is the transitional epithelium. We are going to see the slide of the transitional epithelium soon, but this is the dome shaped cells or the umbrella cells. The special characteristics of this transitional epithelium is that this dome shaped or the umbrella type of the cells, they are responsible for the prevention of the entry of the urine into the urinary bladder, and along with that it is also responsible for providing the extra reserve for the space which can accommodate the urine inside the wall of the organ of the urinary system, mainly urinary bladder. So at the time of the undistended bladder, so we can say the bladder is not full, so bladder is empty. At that time, this superficial layer, they remain as dome shaped or umbrella shaped, while at the time of the distension of the bladder, when the urine is get accumulated within the bladder, this type of the cells, they getting flattened up, and they provide the extra surface for the accommodation of the urine inside the bladder. So the collection of this type of the cells, they are considered as the plaques, and these plaques, they are present when the bladder is empty, while these plaques disappear when this bladder is full. These umbrella cells or the dome cells, they are actually connected with each other through the tight junction, and special type of the protein that is called as the urokinin, which is responsible for prevention of the entry of the urine from the cavity of the bladder to the wall of the bladder. So this type of the epithelium, it is also responsible for the protection purpose also. So now let's see the slide of the transitional epithelium which we have here on the left side. This is the schematic image of the transitional epithelium, where you can observe the superficial most cell layer, they are dome shaped, or they are a special type of the cells which having either single nucleus or more than two nucleus. So these are the large cells, and these are the dome cells or the umbrella cells. So this is the slide when the bladder is empty. Most of the time when you get the slide in the examination, you will find that the section is of the empty bladder, because the bladder is empty usually in case of the cadaver. Unless and until patient having atonic bladder, you will find the distended bladder, or we can say the flat epithelium on the superficial side of the slide of bladder. So this is the umbrella type of the cells, and you can observe that these umbrella cells, they appear as a plaque. So these plaque shaped cells, they flattened out at the time of the distension of the bladder, while when the bladder is empty, they looks like a cluster of the cells like a plaque. Just below the umbrella cells, we find that these columnar type of the cells are present, and these cells, they are the intermediate layer of the cells of the transitional epithelium, while the basal layer, these cells are the rounded cells. They are present at the base of the transitional epithelium. They rest on the basement membrane. While on the right side, we can see this is the real image of the slide of the urinary bladder, which shows the transitional epithelium. So here we can observe that this large type of the cells, we can observe this large cells, this cell with a nucleus, the deeply stained nucleus we also find. So all these cells are the umbrella cells, while this lower sided, this is the basement membrane over which the rounded cells are present. So this is the histological appearance of the transitional epithelium in real slide. Now, as this transitional epithelium is a stratified type of the epithelium, it can be differentiated from the stratified squamous epithelium when the bladder or when the organ is distended. So, as we have already discussed, that distended bladder having a flattened cells on the top. So for that, let's see both the slides side by side. So the upper one is the slide of the transitional epithelium, where you can see the superficial most layer of the umbrella cells, they get flattened out, and this is the distended bladder slide, while the below one, it is the slide for the stratified squamous epithelium. We can differentiate easily by the basal cells. The basal cells in case of the transitional epithelium, they are rounded in shape, they are very large one, and they are rounded. While in case of the stratified squamous epithelium, the basal cells are the columnar cells. You can easily appreciate the columnar layer as the basal layer in case of the stratified squamous epithelium. One more differentiating feature, we can find that in case of the transitional epithelium, it is little thinner than that of the stratified squamous epithelium. So these are the two important points we can remember for the differentiation of the distended urothelium and stratified squamous epithelium. Otherwise, the empty organ transitional epithelium, it is very easy to identify. So this is all about the transitional epithelium. Thank you.